Taylor by Debbie, and today I'm going to try to make a mixed medium wreath, which is right up my alley. We're going to use some of the cream colored burlap from Walmart. I have a piece of a roll here that I'm hoping is going to be long enough. We're going to use some nautical rope. This is the 11.1 feet nautical rope, and what I did, it comes like this, and I just took it and unwrapped it. Now I have 3 pieces that are 11.1 inches long approximately. We're going to use some zip ties and some scissors and some fabric and then even some florals. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to do is take one strand of this nautical rope, and it gets kind of tangled up. I'm learning if you leave it kind of together there, but I'm just going to keep pulling this one piece out here. Okay, I'll set these to the side. And like I did similarly on my heart wreath that I did, I want to use kind of a macrame slip knot technique on the ears on both sides. I'm not sure how it's going to work here in the middle, so we'll see. And honestly, I don't know if it's going to work because of the middle, but you know what? I got an idea. Let's do the knots toward the center. We're going to do that. Okay, so I need to figure out about how much rope I'm going to need. So I'm going to just cut this piece to make a slip knot. I'm just going to put the nautical rope over the frame and pull the 2 pieces of rope through the center of it, and then just pull it like so. Now that's much longer for the tails of this than what I need. So I think I really don't want them to come over here more than like 1.5 inches. So let me cut this. Now let's unwrap this and see how long our pieces are going to need to be, and then we're going to cut a bunch of those. Okay, so we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, and I'm not sure how many we're going to need, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this 11-foot long piece of rope. I'm going to speed up the video and cut these pieces of rope into 6-inch pieces, and I'll be right back. We're going to take these, put the loop over the top, and pull our ends through the loop, and just pull it tight. And I'm going to do it on the inside all the way around. I'll show you again. I'm going to lay it on top of the frame, lift up the frame, pull those 2 tails through that loop, and then we're going to pull it over to the inside. Okay, we're just going to do that all the way around on both of these, and then I'll be right back. Okay, one strand of the rope got me about 1.5 ways over that first ear. So we are going to take our other pieces of rope and cut them into 6-inch pieces and continue to wrap the ears. And once I'm finished completely wrapping 2 of the ears, I'll be right back. Okay guys, we're almost to the end. So I'm going to go ahead and finish. I think I'm going to end up flipping these to the outside, even though it's going to be really tight here in the center. I like the way the ears look better with these flipping out rather than in. In it just looks kind of sloppy to me. So I am going to flip them out like so. I'm not sure how we'll do this center part other than just kind of let them be kind of fluffy and pulled up, kind of intertwined together there in the middle. I think I like it like that, y'all. That looks cute. Okay, now I'm going to turn it around and we are going to do the burlap. And if you want a real slow detailed video about how to do the ruffle burlap, there is a video on my YouTube channel. It's one of my very first videos, and you can go back and watch it. It'll be there for you to refer back to. But basically, you're just going to pull the roll of burlap. You want to pull both sides up, and then we're going to zip tie it down to the wreath frame, and you want to make sure your zip tie comes across kind of this X right here so that it's going to hold this piece of burlap securely to your wreath frame. Just pull that tight. Take wire cutters or scissors and cut that off. All right, and y'all, if you've been following me anytime at all, you've seen me make ruffle burlap before, wreaths, and if not, like I said, you can go back and watch that video where I explain step by step how to do this. Okay, we're just going to pull it through. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, let's see, 9, 10. How many sections do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 sections. Okay, and I'm liking the way that looks. So I think we're going to try to do 10 pulls through each of these 4 sections. And let's see if we have enough on this partial piece of burlap. I got these at Walmart. They sell them in the crafting section, and they're around $5 a roll. And this was just a partial roll. It would not take a full roll to do this, I know, because this wreath frame is really small. It is approximately the round part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5 inches or so in diameter on the outer ring, 9.5 to 10 inches, somewhere around in there. Okay, it's going to be a little more challenging where we've got the rope over here. Okay, I've lost count. I think that's about 5. I'm just going to pull 6. Let's see. We're going to have enough. If not, we might have to adjust because I don't have any more of this white. I need to go get some more. Okay. We're going to do the ruffle burlap technique. We're just pulling the burlap, folded in half, through that rail. We're pulling it up through, from the bottom, up through, and onto that middle wire of the wreath frame, okay? All right, now we're going to come over here, pull all of our rope out of the way, just kind of fold it up that way, pull the burlap up through, and make sure you're careful that it doesn't snag on these where the crossbars are attached. It's a little bit sharp and it can snag your burlap, so kind of put your fingers over those as you're pulling, and that'll help keep it from snagging your burlap. That's just a little trick I've learned doing this for so many years now. This was the very first type of wreath that I learned how to make, was a ruffled burlap. I didn't do this part now, but just the ruffled burlap on the Dollar Tree 14-inch wreath frames, which they have 4 bars, so you would pull 2 pieces of the burlap onto the wreath frame. And like I said, I've got a video on my YouTube channel where you can go back and watch exactly how to do that. All right, we're in our last section. We're just going to hop over that crossbar on the bottom there and keep on trucking. And we're going to pull this until there's no more. It's approximately 10 pulls in each section. You're just going to slide that burlap on there until the section is tight and full. but I'm finding it's approximately 10 pulls. And I don't worry about, you know, being exact on this. I just kind of do it. Yeah, that's going to fit, I do believe. We might have to pull this over a little bit further. I was being conservative to make sure we had enough for that last section. We're just going to pull some more underneath this crossbar into this section. And y'all, it slides really easily. If you put your fingers over the sharp parts on that crossbar, it slides really easily. There we go. Now I think we got plenty of room to pull the rest of this piece of burlap into this section right here. That way I don't have to worry about cutting it. I won't have any waste. I always save. I don't remember what I used this burlap for, this, you know, partial roll of it. But I always save my half rolls or even, you know, little pieces because I can usually find something to make with them. And I think this is turning out so stinking cute. Okay, now we want to come on this back side, and I like to make the back of the wreath look pretty too. So where we went over the crossbars, the burlap's kind of poofing up. I'm just going to take it and push it down on either side of the crossbar. Pull it down, push it down. Okay, all the way where the burlap's just sticking up some, you want to pull it down to where the back of your wreath is going to be nice and flat, and it'll lay up against the door or the wall nicely. I'm thinking since this has the rope that it might do better inside the house. I have a wall in my home that I call the wall of whimsy, and I usually decorate. I hang a wreath for the season there, or some signs that I make usually, and I'll hang usually a beaded garland across, and then I decorate the sofa table that's underneath with seasonal items, that usually things that I've crafted, that I've made. I think every home needs a little bit of whimsy when you walk in the room, something to make you smile, something to warm your heart. So I call it my wall of whimsy. And I also have a tier tray in my kitchen where I display the tier tray items, little signs and gnomes and different things that I make. Okay, so we've just kind of pushed that through. And now where we ended, which I believe is right here, it is, I want to take a zip tie and flip this wreath over. I want to come right here. You see where we've got our zip tie where we started? And some of this is fraying a little bit. I just cut off any strings because this was a cut edge. It was not a factory edge like our ending is going to be here. So I'm just going to cut off any that are frayed. I'm going to make sure this burlap is folded nice and in half. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the zip tie. I'm going to come the opposite direction where we crossed that X right there. Come over here. And then I'm going to stick it through both layers of the burlap over here. Just fold that zip tie up, put it through the burlap, and then zip tie it so that this burlap won't slide down the wreath frame. Now it's packed on here pretty tightly, so I don't think it would slide very far, but I still like to secure the ends of the burlap like that when I put it on a wreath frame. Okay, then I just kind of take and overlap the pieces of burlap to make it look more like the rest of the wreath, where you can't tell as much where we started. Just kind of tuck it down in there, cut any loose threads off, any where it's frayed on that open end. Okay, then I'm just going to fluff this a little bit. Guys, that's so cute. I love this. Let's turn these out here. Turn these out down at the bottom. Okay, next thing you can do is just spread out all your pieces of rope, and any that are significantly longer than others, you can give it a haircut. Okay, I think that looks good. Now I'm just going to kind of bring those in the middle where the ears meet in the center. I'm just going to kind of bring them up a little bit like so. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is take this fabric, and I bought this at the Dollar Tree in the Crafter Square section, and it is 18 by 21 inches. So, you know, you can use whatever fabric you have on hand. They sell fabric at lots of different craft stores and Walmart, and any of the craft stores that you go into just about sell fabric. Okay, we're going to open this up. Okay, I'm going to pull my iron out real quick. We're going to iron this piece of fabric. I have a little ironing pad that I use. So we're going to turn this on and iron. If you don't iron it, I don't think it'll look as pretty in the long run. So we're going to go ahead and take a minute here and iron it. And what we're going to do is we're going to hot glue it behind. We're going to take and hot glue the fabric behind the wreath here. And I think that's going to really make it, the pink is just really going to pop against that kind of creamy white. Okay, let's see. Let's turn this iron on. Let it get hot here. And I do have a Cricut ironing pad, which we're going to put down here to iron on. Normally I do this on an ironing board, but I wouldn't be able to get an ironing board up under the camera here for you guys to see. So we're just going to, you're going to have a little bit of steam coming up to the camera. All right, and we're going to iron some of these wrinkles out. Okay, not going to worry about it being perfect, but it will make it look better than if I didn't iron it at all. A little bit of steam does help to get wrinkles out of this fabric that's been folded for so long in the stores. Okay, I have a Rowenta. I love my Rowenta. It was a little bit pricey, but I've had this iron for many years, and it looks brand new. I just love this iron. Okay. All right. So that got the majority of the wrinkles out. Okay, I think that's good enough. Go ahead and turn that off. Put it over here on my other work table so I won't burn myself. Okay, now we're going to be putting that fabric on the back side of the ears and of the opening down here. So what I want to do is just kind of lay the fabric on here, and we're just going to roughly cut. We want to cut it a little bit bigger than what we need, so we'll have enough fabric to glue it on the back where we won't have any gaps, you know, where it won't be showing light through it or anything like that. Okay, so we're going to cut that off. Just make it, it's not really a circle, Debbie, but I think it'll work. I'm just going to cut it. All right. Let's see here. I need to this, tell you what, I'll just fold this over, make it look a little bit neater. Just kind of cut it around now so it's similar in size from one side to the other. I need my fabric scissors. These are not my fabric scissors, but they're working all right. Okay, so we cut kind of a circle shape. And we are going to take and hot glue that down back here on this part of the wreath. We're going to start on one side, and there again, you want to make sure that your burlap is good and snug. And then we're going to take the glue, and we're actually, let me get some finger protectors because I know this will burn me if I don't. We are going to put some glue on the actual frame and then a little bit over onto the burlap as well. Okay, so I want to start over here on this side. If you saw my hearts that had the buffalo plaid behind them, this is what I did for them. Okay, and you got to work kind of fast because hot glue will dry. Just make sure you got it to where you can get that glued down going around your wreath. Got enough to go on that wire all the way around is what we're looking for. Okay. I need some more glue sticks. Okay. We're just going to continue. I started on this side. I want to wait until that is not feeling hot when I touch it so that when I pull to glue this side over here next, it's going to pull it tight and it won't pull the fabric off of my wreath. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put some more glue. There again, you want to push that burlap all the way down into the wreath. Put some glue on the metal part and then a little bit above on the actual burlap. Okay, and then you're just going to press it down. And we're going to glue this side over here too. Again, push the burlap down. Make sure you've got the burlap tightly tucked. And then we're going to put some hot glue over here on this bar. If the hot glue turns hard before you have time to push it down, you can always just take the tip of your hot glue gun, touch the hot glue again until it softens up, then add another little bead of hot glue on top of it. It'll soften it right back up where you can then press it down. Okay. All right. Then we're going to come over here on this side and we're going to want to pull it tight. So we're going to kind of go from this crossbar to this crossbar, put a bead of hot glue on the actual wire itself, and then a little above it. Work fast because that hot glue will harden. Okay, now I'm going to turn it this way so I can take and pull that fabric tight or taut, however you learn to say that. And then we're just going to press it down, and you want to make sure you pull it snug there so that the fabric, you know, is as tight as you can possibly get it across from one side to the other. That's just going to make the fabric look prettier when we're done. Okay, we're going to go ahead and glue here at the bottom. Put a bead of glue on the wire from here to here. Wherever, you know, you have it glued down is where you'll stop, obviously. Okay, then you're just going to press down and kind of pull up on that fabric to get it nice and tight. Think of an embroidery hoop when you're doing embroidery. For those of y'all that embroider, you're just going to try to pull that fabric tight like you would in the embroidery rings. But you're just going to glue it down to the metal bar and then onto the burlap as well. just for added security to keep it on there. All right, then we just have one more little section right here that we need to do. And we're going to make sure our burlap is pushed down in there. And then we're going to take and put the glue on the bar itself and just above the bar. So I'm kind of going back and forth here. A little bit hard for me to see at this angle. All right, then you're going to pull that fabric tight. Kind of pull it towards you as you're mashing it down onto that metal wire frame so that this fabric is going to be good and tight. Okay. Just like that. Now, when we turn that over, look how cute that is, guys. That looks so cute. And this is not expensive to do at all. This is very high-end looking. You know, you can buy wreath frames that have the fabric glued on the back side, but we're doing it for a much more reasonable cost. All right, now we're going to do the same thing for the ears, and I'm going to cut one ear, and then just, you know, I'm going to fold it over so I can cut just one ear shape, and then we'll have both of them cut for both sides. So I'm going to just fold it in half. And I want to make sure I overlap where I'll have some room to glue onto my burlap. This is the perfect size fabric, y'all. Folding it in half long ways, it's going to fit this ear really well. Okay, now we're just going to feel where we've got those knots around the edges we cut, and we want to come just on the other side. It's better to have more than not enough because you can always cut a little bit more off. So just cut around. Make sure you don't cut your rope, y'all. Okay. And then we're going to kind of feel how far we want to go on this side. I'm going to just snip a little bit right here. And then guess what? We're going to fold it in half and cut it on the other side. Okay, so we're going to take this. Let's move our bunny out of the way. We're going to take this where we cut our bunny ear, and we're going to fold it in half like so, all the way up to the point. And then I'm just going to take and cut right here, kind of along that same contour. And I'm hoping this is going to work, y'all. We're going to see. The ears look to be kind of even, so I hope this is going to work. All right. Now we have our little ear shapes. And I think we've got them a little bigger than what we need them, but that's okay. We'll glue them down and then we can trim them off. All right, this is going to be a little bit tricky because we want to try to get the knots the way we want them to lay before we put our glue on there. And this is also going to help hold the rope on. Okay, so I'm going to take one piece of this fabric. Well, I've already got it separated here. And I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to kind of hold this yarn up like this over to the side, and you don't want your hand under there because hot glue could drip on it. Put your hand there, then pull it over, and you're going to put your glue right on these knots. Okay, just going to go ahead and put a good bit of glue right there. And we're going to pull our fabric down, and we want to make sure we pull it down far enough to where we can have some fabric to overlap at the bottom, and then we're just going to press down right here. Okay, I'm going to press it down right there. Not exactly sure how this is going to work, y'all, but we're gonna give it a try here. Okay, just kind of adjust it if you need to, and then we can always trim off the extra fabric along the edges. All right, now we're going to fold that up to where we were at. You know, I've got some little cardboard rolls over here. I wonder if I could put this underneath there to kind of hold that up. I think that would work. These came out of my mesh rolls, but you could find something, I'm sure, in your craft room to stick under there to kind of hold the pieces of rope flat while you're gluing. Need another glue stick in a minute. It's not ready yet, but it will be soon. Okay, you're just going to put a generous amount of hot glue on top of those knots. Okay, and then we're going to take that fabric and we're going to press it down on that side. Okay, all right, now we're going to keep going around. I'm going to take this, it's just a little cardboard roll. I'm going to just take that. All right, this is going to be a little tricky right here because I want to glue these kind of sticking up. So I'm not sure how we're going to do that and have it still be tight enough on the bottom. Let's see here, guys. Let's figure this out together. All right, I'm going to pull the rope up on both sides. I'm going to separate it first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, up to the point where it separates, I'm going to put a bead of hot glue there on one side of this rope, and I'm going to pull them up together where it'll help this rope stand up in the middle. So I'm going to put a little bit on each side up into the point where the rope kind of splits right there. See? All right, I'm going to take these and pull them up in the center. So all the little hair on this ear in the center is going to stand up. Okay? I don't know any other way to do it here to where when we glue the fabric over on this side where it will stay. So we're going to try that and see if that works. Okay? Just kind of hold that together. And then we're going to continue around. I'm going to continue up here at the top. Put some glue. There again, I've got this piece of tubing under here to kind of hold this yarn up. Okay. And I'm going to put this down. And then we're going to kind of pull it snug as we can. Might not be quite as snug as we had it on the other part because this rope does kind of move. But we're going to get it as tight as we can get it. And I think by gluing the center part together here, that's going to help that stay tighter over here. Okay, we're just going to go for it. Okay. If it's a little bit looser, it's a little bit looser. This is going to be for my home, so I'm not that worried about it. I think it's still going to be so cute, y'all. All right, then down here at the bottom, we want to get some glue on that bar like we did on the other parts, and then also on that burlap. Get this rope out of the way, get him over there. All right, then we're just going to pull that down. Press it down onto that bar right there because that's really going to help secure it. Okay, now I'm going to take off my hot glue protectors and I'm going to go around and very carefully trim the excess fabric off. Okay, I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side, but I do want to turn it over and let's see how that looks. Oh, that looks so cute, y'all. All right, let's do it over here on the other side. Then I'm going to take and put a little bit more hot glue right up here. Put my finger protector back on, and I want to push that rope where the middle part's going to kind of stick up. Okay, but now we need to glue our fabric on this side. Okay, let's turn it over and take a look. Oh, guys, that's so stinking cute. Okay, now we're going to make a bow. I'll set him over there to dry. Y'all know I like to use my Easy Bow Design Pro. It's the deluxe version of the Easy Bow Maker, which is what I learned on. So I'm going to use this to make my bow. There's lots of different bow makers out there. This one, you know, just probably over 20 years ago, I got my very first Easy Bow Maker, and it's what I learned on. So I like this deluxe version, and I will put a link in the description box of this video to where I bought mine on Amazon if you're interested in getting one. All right, we're just going to put our rope. Let me get my hot glue gun out of the way, and I'll be... I don't think I got a pipe cleaner, so I'll be right back. I'm going to get a pipe cleaner. We need a pipe cleaner to secure the center of the bow. Okay, so grab a few pipe cleaners. You can buy pipe cleaners at any craft store. They sell them even at Dollar Tree, and they sell them at Walmart. I like to use a coordinating color to my ribbon, and we're using this black and white buffalo plaid. Okay, I need to turn this around because it's backwards for me. I'm trying to get as much of this into the camera here so you guys can see. Over there is just going to be my roll of ribbon, so I'm going to push that out of the way. I'm going to do some 5-inch loops, and I'm going to do an 8-inch tail. So if you want to learn how to make my 10-loop 1-ribbon bow, I have a video on my YouTube channel where I explain step-by-step how to do it. Very easy. Probably one of the easiest bows you could make. It's one I use frequently because it is so easy and it turns out so pretty. Okay, so I won't go step-by-step explaining how to do it here, but you can go and watch my video on how I make this bow. And I'm using this exact same ribbon in that video, so just look for this ribbon in the thumbnail. And it's, I believe it's called How to Make a 10-Loop 1-Ribbon Bow. Okay, we're going to do 5 loops on each side. Okay, that's 4. And then we're going to do one more. We're doing like about 5-inch loops. Hope this won't be too big for our little bunny, but I like a statement bow. And the wreath is not going to need much more than that, y'all. I think that was number 5. Yeah, that's number 5. 8-inch tails. Excellent. All right, we're going to go ahead and lift this off our bow maker. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, we're going to secure it with our pipe cleaner. Okay, now I'm going to get my wreath back up here. Okay, and I was thinking about putting our bow right here in the middle. So I'm going to just I'm going to go down through the wired part of the buffalo. I mean, not the buffalo. I'm going to go through the wired part here on my ruffled burlap. Okay. And I like to use these yarn needles, and I buy them at Walmart. They come 2 a pack, and they're not expensive at all. And I use it to push down through the burlap, and then it comes out the other side, and you can just pull the pipe cleaner through. It makes it a lot easier to get your pipe cleaner through the burlap. Okay, and I want to come down over here on the other side. I'm going to pull this bow down tight and twist it a few times here. Okay, and I tell you what, now we'll make another hanger. All right, I'm going to snip that off and just kind of tuck the end of that pipe cleaner back down into the burlap so it's not really able to scratch anything. All right, then I'm going to fluff my bow. Let's see, let's pull it up here in the middle of the burlap, like so. All right, and I also explain in my video on how to make the bow. I teach you how to break the bow too. This is what we call breaking the bow. And I have a very methodical method that I teach you, and I'm kind of doing it here, but I'm doing it quickly because I do have a full video that teaches how to make my bows. Okay. And I want to respect your time. If you haven't watched that video, you can go back and watch it. All right, I want to take these ties and put them kind of out to the side here. All right, I'm going to round out our loops now that we've broken the bow. These bows are so easy, guys. You can use them on wreaths. You can use them on lanterns. You can use them on a mailbox swag. You can make the loops bigger or smaller to fit whatever project you're making. Okay, super easy bow. Look how pretty they turn out. All right, almost done with our bow. The only other thing I think this needs is maybe some florals and a little bit of greenery on either side of the bow. And I'm going to say that we're done. You could put the bow down here at the bottom too, but I like it up here at the top. I just think that looks so pretty. In my bow video, I also teach you how to do the dovetails. I explain it step by step. So I'm going to dovetail the ends. Okay, and I want these tails to just kind of come over here out to the side. All right, now I'm going to get some florals and a little bit of greenery. So hang tight just a minute. You can buy greenery at any of the craft stores, like Hobby Lobby sells it. And I like this because it has a lot of movement. So I'm just going to cut off 2 of the stems. I'll get the right word in a minute. I'll put 1 of these on each side of the bow. Okay, and then I'm going to get some florals. I like ranunculus, and I found some pretty ones. I don't remember where I got them. I believe it might have been Hobby Lobby. But I want to take some of these out of this floral bush. These ranunculars, I don't know if you can see them well, but I love these ones with the pink and the white. So I want to take a few of these out. I think 3 for each side. I'm going to go ahead and let's move him out of the way here. I'm just going to cut some of these off. It might only need, let's do 1 on each side to start and just see. That stem. Ooh, I like these too though. Let's see. I'll do a couple of those. Let's see. Let's see how this looks if I'm going to dry fit it first. If we put, let me cut this stem a little bit. These particular greenery sprigs have 3 separate little pieces that slide up and down the stem, so I like to just spread them out a little bit. I use these a lot on my wood round door hangers to put behind a bow. So I'm thinking a little bit of greenery coming out, and then maybe 1 of these flowers. It's not a real big wreath, so I don't want to overpower it, but I'm liking these flowers. These are so pretty. I think maybe if I bend them up just a little bit and kind of tuck it in the bow like that. Oh yeah, I think this is going to be so pretty, y'all. And I think that's all this needs. Maybe one on each side. Go ahead and spread these out evenly like we did over there, because they tend to come with it all scrunched together. So I just kind of like to spread them out a little bit and then cut the stem. Okay, and then I'm gonna tuck that in there on this side. Kind of put my tails, where's my tail over here? I'll put my tails kind of below all the florals, like so. But guys, that's it. I'm gonna glue these in. Okay, guys. I'm going to show you how I make a hanger. So we're going to turn it over and it's going to squish the bow, but that's okay. We can fluff it back out. So I'm just going to come up here, take a couple pipe cleaners. We're going to twist them together to make it more secure. And we don't want it to be too top heavy. So we don't really want to put the hanger down here because I'm afraid it would not hang right. So I'm going to see what we can do here. Don't really want the hanger to show. Let's see, guys. I'm going to decide how to go about doing this. I'm going to use my handy dandy yarn needle here. I think I want to go up under one of these knots right here. Pull that through. Okay. And then I think I'm just going to make a loop. So I want to come over here on this side and we'll go through one of the yarn knots over here too, if I can find one to go through. There's one. Just to give it a little more security. And then we're going to put some glue there on those knots so that they won't pull out the piece of knot that we made. You want to make sure you go through a piece that's not going to show through on the front hand side. Let's see, guys. I'm having trouble finding one over on this side because I've got the glue down. If I had it to do over, I'd put my hanger on before I've glued the fabric, but we're just gonna work with it since we've already got the glue down here. I think I need to come up this way with it. Just gonna go through that section of knot right there. Okay, go poke it through, just as long as we get it up under some of the yarn over here, I think we'll be good. It's not a very heavy wreath. All right, so we've got the yarn going through a little bit of the knot on each side. Now I want to come in here with some hot glue and secure that pipe cleaner to that knot and glue that knot where that knot's not going to pull out, where the knot is not going to pull out. Okay, this one we can kind of put some glue there and then also tack that fabric down on top of that, like so. Okay, and then we can kind of mash down some of this other rope that's back here just to secure it. All right, and then I'm just going to take these and twist them around each other and make a little loop. I want to make it to where it's not going to show, just to have something to hang this by. Then I'm going to trim that end off right there. Kind of tuck that up under that fabric and press that glue down. And then I'm going to twist it over here. Round and round. Just pull that nautical rope out of the way. Just until you get it kind of down to the bottom. And see, that makes a nice clean hanger where nobody's going to get stuck with a pokey part of the pipe cleaners or anything like that. Okay, they've kind of come untwisted a little bit. I'm just going to trim that off right there. All right, and then we have our little hanger to hang our wreath from. All right, guys, I'll put a finished picture. Did squish my bow a little bit. I'll put a finished picture of it hanging up at the end of the video. Thank y'all so much for watching, and have a blessed day.